Yes, it is really that small. The SIG Sauer P365 is tiny. SIG Sauer P365, brand new, just got mine. I waited a long time, and you probably have too, and a lot of you are probably still waiting. Well, hang in there, be patient. I'm about to put the very first rounds through it. So because of the crappy weather and the fact that there's actually some precipitation coming down, this might be the quickest first 100 I've done in a long time, which probably is the way you like them. But don't worry, I will come back very soon and do a in-depth review that'll include a lot of different ammo and a lot of different types of shooting and some accuracy testing and all of that good stuff. But today, I just want to get some rounds through this thing. I'm going to try and put at least 100 through it. I'm shooting SIG Sauer Elite Performance ammo. I'm almost out of the SIG Sauer ammo, so I've actually been saving this just for this gun. I'm going to start out with a 124 grain ball. And I'm going to shoot some 147 grain ball, and then I'm going to try and put some V-crown hollow points through it as well. So without further ado, let's get started. Very first rounds through the tiny, very tiny SIG Sauer P365. Okay, so if you were counting at home, you may have counted 11 shots. That's right. This tiny, thin little pistol holds 10 in the magazine and 1 in the chamber. This one goes to 11. You may have also noticed, if you were paying attention, for whatever reason the slide didn't lock back, but that could be my grip, because this is a tiny little gun. So I'm going to have to work out where is the best place for me to hold this thing so that I don't do that. Meanwhile, I'm going to move on now to, that was the flush mount magazine, by the way. I'm going to move on now to the magazine that has the pinky extension. This will be just 10 rounds. All right. The slide stop functions very nicely with your thumb as a slide release. I like that. Okay, I was careful where I put my thumb this time, and this time the slide locked back like it's supposed to. I'm going to assume that was me. All right, that was 21 rounds. Now I'm moving on to the 12-round magazine. The gun comes with two 10-round magazines. There is an available 12-round magazine. I did pre-order one of those from SIG Sauer, and I got it well ahead of the gun, and I've got a few more of those on order. It's a little snappy, as you might expect, considering it weighs nothing. The sights are awesome, like I knew they would be. There's 33 rounds. That is 1/3 of the way to 100. And it is, so far, perfect. So what's the first thing you do when you're at the gun store picking up a new gun, whether it's a T&E, like this SIG P365, or one you're purchasing or whatever? First thing you want to do is you want to dry fire it. I did have expectations of it being a good trigger, but I didn't realize just how good it is. Just from dry fire, my opinion so far is that this trigger is better than the P320 standard trigger. It's just got a nice light and crisp feel, super tactile response. Nice short reset. Really, really amazing trigger. And even out at full stroke, the pull is fairly short considering. So that's full stroke. That's it, to the wall. And then a beautiful, beautiful break. The reset, very, very nice for a carry gun. And then you are right at the wall. No additional take up. Right back to the break. Amazing feeling trigger. I can't wait to shoot it live fire. I'm carrying this little P365 inside the waistband in a Kydex holster from Multi Holsters. That holster was sent to me by my buddies at Multi Holsters, and I appreciate it a whole lot. And who knows, I came with a Glock 43 inside my waistband as my everyday carry. When I leave here, I don't know, it might be this one. I also want to thank the good people at Tactical AR500 Targets for that awesome target downrange. It is AR500 steel. It is the hostage target. That is the ADAP hostage variety target, and I love it. Let's see if I can hit that flapper on it. Get an idea where the hold point is on this gun anyway. It looks like center hold, I guess. Now these sights, if you have a Legion or if you've picked up and held a Legion, then you're familiar with this sight picture. It is essentially the exact same sight picture as the Legion. By the way, I'm shooting the 147 grain SIG now. Also started out with 11 rounds the first time with the 10 round magazine, and as you saw, slide locked back. So I think that first time was me probably riding the slide stop. Moving on now again to the other 10 round magazine with the little pinky extension base plate, which is actually very nice. I like it a lot. Just enough to get a full 4-finger grip on the bottom of the gun. Man, this thing is tiny. Tiny, tiny, tiny. Somebody making popcorn over there. A couple weren't done. 12 round magazine now. The 12 round magazine definitely gives you a fistful. So if you've got bigger hands than me and a little tiny gun like this bothers you, you might really, really like it with that 12 round magazine. I'll tell you, the feel of this grip though is just so small. It is so thin, and it's also very, very narrow, this dimension here. We'll talk about a lot more of that when we get into the part 2 or the more detailed review. Again, this is just a first 100. Awesome. Absolutely awesome. Well, I know originally a few people had some problems with these guns. I am not having any problem today, that's for sure. I've shot 66 rounds and not a single problem at all, except for the one time that I held the slide open, or kept the slide from locking back. Very impressive little gun. It's got some snap to it, but not nearly what you might expect from a gun as small and light as it is. It handles the recoil really well. Okay, I don't usually do this right out of the box. I usually wait till I've got a couple hundred rounds through a gun or more. But I want to do a out of the box measurement on this trigger because it just feels so good. Let's see what we got. 5 pounds, 4.5 ounces. So that's about 5 1/4 pounds. And I was down closer to the toe than the center. So you've got a little bit of advantage there, but that's kind of how I shoot. So I try to put the gauge where I typically have my finger. And that is, again, under 5 1/2 pounds. It is a beautiful, beautiful trigger. Okay, I'm getting down to the bottom of the 2 ammo boxes that will make the first 100. SIG Sauer Elite Performance Full Metal Jacket, 124 and 147 grain is what I've been shooting. Right now I've got a kind of a mix of the two. Both of the magazines, the 10 and the 12 round, they both top off pretty good as far as getting that top round in there, that 10th round or that 12th round. It's a little bit snug. You know, they are cramming as much into that little space as is possible. And in some cases, I think maybe even defying the laws of physics. But it's really not that tough, bare thumbed or with a loader, to get that top round in there. So that's a good thing. So again, starting out with 11 in the 10 round flush mount magazine. This is just a mix of 147 grain and 124 grain. I forget which magazines have which. I kind of have to shift my grip a lot when I shoot because the gun does jump around a little bit, especially for a thumbs forward hold. If I try to go thumbnail over thumbnail, like a revolver, that's a little better. Boy, this is a fine shooting little gun. Like I say, I know they had some problems early on, and I know they made some changes in the recoil spring, possibly the guide rod assembly recoil spring. However, whatever changes they made worked. Try a little bit of one-handed shooting. Nice. Try the other hand. Weak hand only. That's always a good test for a tiny little gun. I do find myself anticipating a little bit with the recoil, but especially with my left hand there. But it's really not that bad. It really is not that bad. Let's see, what else do I need to tell you about this thing? Talked about the sights. Basically Legion sights, which is awesome. I love, love, love the sights. The grip feels excellent. It has that E2 style texturing. However, I already have a Talon grip, a rubber one, sitting ready, and I'm probably going to put that on. This thing is so small. It's really, I hate to just keep harping on how small this gun is. But until you just pick one up, have an opportunity to pick it up and hold it, you can't understand just how tiny this thing really is. I mean, it's like, you know, it's like car PM9 tiny. Beretta Nano tiny. It's like that. Okay, just 2 rounds in this magazine. These are the last of the first 100, these two. SIG Sauer Elite Performance full metal jacket. There's 100. Okay. Slide did not lock back. And I was shooting one-handed, so I couldn't have been interfering. And it is the same magazine that it happened the first time with. The flat base plate magazine. So, interesting. Moving on to the bonus rounds. SIG Sauer, 115 grain, V-crown, jacketed hollow points. Sound like somebody making more popcorn. Carry ammo in definitely what is a carry gun. Okay, so the official count is 180 rounds through the P365 today for a first 100. That's a good, healthy first 100, especially in really crappy weather. There will be a part 2, but I'm going to leave you with this. For those of you asking, what do you think? Well, other than the slide not locking back twice, both with the same magazine, with the flush mount base plate magazine, and I'm not sure yet what to make of that. That definitely requires some more testing, but with the exception of those 2 little quirks, I'll call it, absolutely no malfunctions whatsoever. I shot predominantly SIG Sauer ammo and then moved on to some just general range use ammo, full metal jacket again, wound up with a total count of 180. So the best way I can sum it up for you is that when I came here today, this is what I had in the waistband. This is my Glock 43 in multi-holsters holster, which I love. Well, what I'm going to leave here with today is this in my waistband, the SIG Sauer P325. And I'm going to load it up right now with V-crown ammo, 124 grain jacketed hollow point. This is my favorite carry load. I'm going to load this gun up right now with V-crown ammo, and that's what I'm putting in my waistband. That's what I'm carrying home. And I think it's going to be my new carry gun. This is going to be the new everyday carry. And of course, this one goes to 11, so top off my mag at 11 rounds in the gun in a tiny single stacked sized footprint. That is incredible. I have demonstrated to myself today that it is very reliable. It is nice and accurate, and it's quite nice to shoot. So there we go. And because it's always a good idea to carry a backup magazine, I'm going to do just that. I'm going to put 12 rounds in the 12-round magazine. That's going to go in a pocket. Okay, so let me pay some quick respects. I want to thank SIG Sauer for sending me this pistol as a test and evaluation. The P365 so far after this first 180 rounds is absolutely awesome. It is As Hickok 45 said when he tested it, it's a game changer. It really is a game changer. They have basically almost broken the laws of physics. You know, it's like Doctor Who's phone booth. How do you get this many rounds in this tiny little gun? There's something weird going on there. Well, it's not weird, it's just really, really good engineering and thinking outside the box. The gun is reliable, it shoots nice and easy. It's snappy, of course, because again, the laws of physics are the laws of physics, but it handles really well. It now has a properly fitted recoil spring that handles the recoil exactly the way it should and allows the function of the gun to work exactly the way it should. So I did not have any malfunctions whatsoever in terms of returning to battery, no kind of misfires, no feeding or ejection errors, anything of that. You saw basically every round I shot right here on video. So barring some unforeseen change of heart or something that would go wrong, this is my new carry gun, and you will see more of it. I'm going to come back with an in-depth deep dive review, and I think what I might try to do, since it is called the P365, and that's no accident, they want you to carry this gun 365 days a year, I might do a 365-day review. So meet me back here this time next year, and I hope I can still be here this time next year, and I'll talk to you about how it performed over the course of a year. I'll shoot it every chance I get. Thank you for watching. You can find Just an Opinion channel for the moment on YouTube. I hope to stay here for a long, long time. You can find Just an Opinion channel on Facebook, and you can find Just an Opinion channel on Patreon if you are so inclined. Thanks.